Hello everyone, this is Preston Clark with SimpleDocs and Law Insider. Today we're going to take a quick look at building fallback positions into your playbooks. We're going to jump into our AI playbook library. I'm going to find my mutual NDA. I'm going to use the search bar on top. Here is mutual NDA. This is the one I'm going to use. You can use what I'm going to show today for your own custom playbooks. You can, of course, duplicate the standard playbooks and make them your own. For purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to jump right into this mutual NDA. Where the pencil is where the edit function is. That's where we're going to focus. Okay, so let's expand term. This is an easy one for the purpose of demonstrating fallbacks. I expand it. I see the rule name on top is term. Let's remove the fallback that is there. So I'm going to add another one, but let's just take a quick orientation of what's here. So I have the rule name, which is sort of the issue type. This could be term. It could be definition of confidentiality. It could be choice of law, anything that is aligned to the issue that is needing to be spotted and ultimately modified if incompliant. Okay. Below, I have the primary prompt or the primary rule that governs that issue. In this case, the default term of the agreement should be 1 year. So if the agreement shows a 3-year agreement or a 3-year term, it's going to mark it and propose a red line back to 1. That is our default or our primary position. I have red lines turned on. This is important when you're adding fallbacks, when you're adding primary negotiation positions. Red line is where you want to be. Red flag just is issue spotting. So you could also do this, but we'll do a tutorial on that separately. For today, let's focus on fallback. At the bottom here is where we have comments and we have guidance notes. Guidance notes are going to come into play as we start to implement the fallback. So I'm going to come back to this in just a second, but let's go here and say the default term of this agreement should be 1 year. Let me add another fallback that says, in some circumstances, we can accept between 2 and 5 years. Let's see, 2 and 6 years. I think this agreement has a 6-year term. Okay, so this is a range. You could do several of these, right? And I know this is an easy example because it's just year duration, but I could add several more. It could be 3 to 5. It could be 6 to 10. However many you need, you can enable here. So it's unlimited number of fallbacks. Okay, now under guidance notes, this is where you're instructing the attorney or the user or just reminding yourself under what circumstances this fallback rule would be relevant. And so in this case, I'm going to say under some circumstances, we can accept 2 to 5 years, but please get approval from the GC. So in this case, the issue will be flagged. You will see the secondary option or the fallback, and then the lawyer will understand what steps are required in order to accept that deviation from the primary position. Okay, let me go ahead and hit save changes. I could go one by one now. So each of these rules can have its own multiple fallbacks, but for demonstration purposes, let me go ahead and click save and run. And what we're focused on is the first issue, which is term, because that's the one we just modified. Right away, we see the guidance note under some circumstances, we can accept 2 to 5 years. You saw me just write that a moment ago. And look at this. So the red check where it says primary is incompatible. I can click on this section right here, by the way, and it'll take me to the area in the agreement where term exists. So I can read myself here that it says 6 years. What is our rule? Our rule is default 1, which means the primary position is incompatible. And so in this case, if I were to accept this change, what would it do? It would take the 6 and redline it to 1. But if I now select fallback option 1, there is no red line because the range that I gave was 2 to 6 years. And sure enough, this proposed clause has 6 years. And so in this case, no change would be required. If we're not ready to make that concession yet, I can go back to primary, defend 1 year as is proposed here. I have a default comment as well. I click apply, and this red line immediately takes hold into the document as you see here, including the comment. Okay, that is it. That is how you set up fallbacks. For more tutorials, subscribe to our YouTube channel or look out for our resources center on the website. Thanks so much.